What's up, everybody? It's been a long while since we've done this show, but I'm Jarrett Bailey. That's Jason Aponte. We are two skinny dudes. Man, Jay, it's good to see you again, my friend. How are you?
Jarrett, I miss you so much. Being on the other side of the country feels like being in a whole different world. But this took too long for us to get going again, and I'm happy that we're doing it, even if it is delayed week 3, whatever it is. But I miss your face, and I miss doing this, and I'm happy that we're back on. So, how are you doing? Better is the better question.
Yeah, you know what, mate? I'm doing fantastic. The record for my Steelers could be a little bit better.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, I'm doing okay on this side. But yeah, I mean, we did this show a good amount, during draft time, through the summer, and then we kind of got away from it. Obviously you've been busy with, traveling all over the place, doing a bunch of Niners stuff. I've been busy over here with Pittsburgh Sports Now and Fansided doing a bunch of different Steelers stuff. So we just kind of got lost in the shuffle. So it is good to be back doing this because 49ers Twitter has been very kind to me since we started doing this. Aside from that whole quarterback list thing where they kind of get angry at me. Other than that, we're chilling.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get for slandering Joe Montana in any way or slandering.
I didn't slander.
Yeah, I mean I listen. It's slander when you put him when you don't put him up there at 1 or 2. That's slander, man. So, but yes, for anybody who's watching, please like the video. It helps us out a ton. Subscribe to both channels and make sure that you guys are locked in because we will be doing this going forward. But please shoot us a like right now. It'll help us shoot up the algorithm right now and get more viewers. So if you guys are wondering how you can help, that's how you can help.
Exactly. But regardless, I mean, we do have week 4 to talk about now. How about the Jaguars, though? I know that it's Thursday Night Football. They didn't win, but they're getting better. Trevor Lawrence is getting better.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that the main thing that's going to happen with them and more of the struggles that are going to happen is because I don't really think too much of Urban Meyer as a coach. So a little, I don't think that there's any way that you can really ruin Trevor Lawrence. I think he's too good that I think that eventually it'll happen. But the Urban Meyer thing, like it shouldn't be that once the USC job opened up, people were like, well, Urban Meyer's about to just, cut out, and that was something that he had to actually address, and that's of his own doing, and that was very much what's going on. So a little bit dysfunctional. We all know as 49er fans, Trent Baalke, general manager, we know him all too well. It looks like right now, because based on of the way that James Robinson is playing, you taking a running back in the first round is criminal at this point. It doesn't make any sense for you to have done that, but hey, whatever. I'm just some guy. I'm one of the 2 skinny dudes, and I'm not a general manager, so whatever. What the hell do I know?
Yeah, the thing with Urban, you already said it. As soon as they fired Clay Helton, everybody's like, well, there goes Urban. Everybody thinks he's going to pull a Bobby Petrino. It's just a matter of when. Zach Rowland, we appreciate you watching. Everybody in the comments, we appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Yep. But it wouldn't necessarily surprise me, even at this point, the quote from Vic Fangio saying that, Urban said it's like playing Alabama every week. Like, no kidding, Urban. This isn't Florida. This isn't Ohio State anymore, where you're going to be able to, open up with roast beef state in week 1. Like, you're going to have, these are all NFL teams. These are all professionals. So it wouldn't surprise. Now, when they hired him, I wasn't a fan of it either. I think it was a lot of, okay, we're the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are 32nd out of, 32 teams in terms of revenue and fan base and all of that. They needed something to kind of generate some steam. Urban Meyer does that. Tim Tebow does that. So, the cons, don't get me wrong, I love Tony Khan for wrestling related reasons. But the Jaguars it seems to be more of the same. Drafting Travis Etienne in the first round when they didn't need a running back, much less in the first round. The whole project thus far has just really fell on its face.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you said it. The Jaguars are in the business of right now basically selling tickets. That's what Tim Tebow was about. That's what, the Urban Meyer thing was. So, I mean, with the Jaguars, they have pieces in place. I'm a big Laviska Shenault guy. Very happy to see him to get downfield targets in this game. That was really good. Realistically, I know we're talking about the Jaguars, but I want to talk about the Bengals a little bit. Joe Burrow, man, there's something about him that he has this little bit of an it factor, I think. And man, you know what, man? Say what you want about his arm limitations and certain things. The guy kind of has it. And if Cincinnati should be feeling really good about what's going on with them right now. Him and Jamar Chase have been lighting it up. Obviously, T. Higgins didn't play in this game. Tyler Boyd continues to be one of the most slept-on receivers in this league. One of the more reliable guys. And Joe Mixon's actually getting a chance to, unfortunately he got injured at the end of this game, but is actually getting a chance to show people, how talented he really is now in a good system. And he's actually getting all the snaps that, unfortunately we'll find out going forward. But yeah, the Bengals are in a good spot, man. Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. The only problem that I have is that someone on Twitter decided to unleash the hottest of hot takes, saying in a vacuum, I would take Joe Burrow over Dak Prescott. And that's not something I'm ready to say right now at this point. I'm just not ready to say that at this point.
I'm not ready to say it yet, but Joe Burrow's damn good. And look, this is a team. I mean, who would have thought that at the end of week 4, the Cincinnati Bengals would be atop the AFC North? I know I didn't. No. Now that said, I did say that they were going to be playing meaningful football in December simply because, you look at the pieces that they added on defense. They add Mike Hilton from Pittsburgh at that nickel corner spot. They do lose William Jackson, but Jesse Bates is still back there as one of the best safeties in football. He didn't play Thursday night either. Right. So they've got a lot of pieces. Kind of Logan Wilson is having a hell of a first quarter of the season. I was listening to Jim Nagy talk. Apparently he's the first player in NFL history to have 30 tackles and 3 interceptions in the first 3 weeks of the season. That's crazy. That's insane. So he's playing out of his mind, and offensively they're stacked. You can make the argument that they are the most stacked team in the division in terms of just offensive talent. They're very good. The offensive line got a little bit better. It's still not great, but it's better than what it was last year. Joe Burrow's actually got time to throw the ball. And look, you know what? Shame on me for saying that Jamar Chase was their worst draft pick because he shut me up really quick.
Well, I mean, everybody kind of got into the whole drop thing. The training camp thing gets a little bit, overblown. And hey, guys go through the drops, and he could still do that during the season. But I never really wavered when it came to that. The training camp reports about drops, it didn't really scare me off at all. But that connection is right back to where it should be. So.
Yeah, I love Cincinnati where they are right now. I do want to touch on my baby of the season, and that's the Carolina Panthers because
best defensive football right now. That's the hottest take that I have right now. Best defensive football right now.
And you know what? I've been taking my victory lap a little bit as much as I can because that too, and we'll get into Sam Darnold. But back in July, I ranked the defenses in football top 10, somewhat projecting along with where they were last season. And I said that if there's any defense that can take that Washington football team leap from 2020, it was going to be the Panthers. And right now they are overall, statistically speaking, the best defense in football after 3 weeks going into week 4. Losing J.C. Horn did hurt. And then they were proactive and went out and got C.J. Henderson. And when J.C. Horn gets healthy, they've got a defensive backfield that features Henderson, J.C. Horn, A.J. Bouye as well, a bunch of other pieces on that side of the ball. They are a very, very good young defensive team.
Brian Burns is incredible.
Brian Burns is insane. Derek Brown from Auburn, who they selected a few years ago. Etor Gross-Matos, Hassan Reddick. I mean, we could list everybody on there if we wanted to, but let's talk about Sam Darnold because this is a guy who I've been pounding the table about for the past year and a half. Any show that I do, I was begging to God that Kevin Colbert would trade for Sam Darnold. And when he got traded to Carolina, I immediately said, well, the Carolina Panthers might be a playoff team this year. Back-to-back 300-yard games. He's played very well. I think he's only got 1 interception on the year thus far.
Yeah, I think it's like 1 or 2 turnovers, actually. That's the thing that you were really worried about. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing well. DJ Moore is still tearing this league up.
There's no bigger fan in this world of DJ Moore than myself, and I couldn't be happier for him. Unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey goes down, but at the same time, DJ Moore is one of the most slept-on receivers in this league. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with God knows who is his quarterback at certain points. And that's the point that I've always been trying to make. I kind of wanted them to move him to the slot and have Terrace Marshall outside. But, hey, it is what it is. I mean, if DJ Moore went into the slot, he would be the best slot receiver in the league, hands down, no question. I wouldn't even take any arguments on anybody else. But he's so good, he can do everything else. I'm so happy for DJ Moore, and I'm so happy that he was able to show out last week on Thursday Night Football for everybody to see. Gets a little banged up, but he comes back in the game. So happy for DJ Moore. Such a great receiver that is so slept on in this league.
Yeah, and I mean, good for Carolina too. Good for Matt Rule and Joe Brady. That's a good point at the bottom of the screen. We talk about slept-on receivers, and usually Tyler Lockett's the one that gets brought up, but Tyler Boyd and DJ Moore deserve a lot of love. So good for Carolina. I'm happy for them. They face Dallas this week. We already talked a little bit about Dak Prescott. Dallas is playing really well. Dak's playing really well. That defense is playing surprisingly well. Trayvon Diggs is having a hell of a year thus far.
He's great.
Yeah. So, Dallas is a team coming into the season. The one concern that everybody had was their defense is bad. Secondary looks a lot better than I think any of us thought it would be. There's still maybe a little bit of questions in terms of the pass rush and whatnot, but overall they're playing very well on both sides of the ball. They could have beat Tampa Bay if not for Tom Brady driving the Buccaneers down the field in a minute to kick a game-winning field goal. But right now they're sitting at 2-1. They look like the best team in the NFC East. What the thoughts about this game, but also about Dallas as a whole right now and what they could be in the NFC playoff picture?
Well, I mean, with the NFC East, I think that you and I both were pretty much lock and step in Washington football team being that team. And now, no Fitzpatrick, and that defense is definitely underwhelming at this point. Yeah. I thought that was going to be the thing that was going to keep them involved in all of these games. And as of right now, you'd be hard pressed to find a team that's probably better right now in that division, especially when you look at how bad the Eagles have been. The Giants are in shambles right now at this point. Dallas has a really, really good chance. It would not shock me if Dallas ended up the season 10-7, wins that division, and loses in the first round because Mike McCarthy doesn't know how to manage a clock, according to his PFF book. But yeah, I think it looks like it's pretty clear that Dallas, based on their offensive prowess and how well Dak is playing, they're going to be able to beat anybody as long as they're right. Because week 1, they nearly knock off the champs. They were a few plays away from that. I just, if that defense even is marginally better than it was last year, then they're already that much of a better team. And yeah, Dallas is really shocking me right now. And they haven't even really got Zeke going aside from this game, this past game. So yeah, Dallas is looking good, man. You can't really lie. I mean, as a 49er fan, I hate it, but at this point, it is what it is. They're looking good. And, as of right now in week 4, sorry, I know that I labeled this as week 3, week 4, they look like the class of the NFC East at this point.
They do. And, you brought up the 49ers. We can touch on them a little bit. We try to make this, not a 49er and Steelers show. But the fact that the Steelers play the Packers, they're coming off a game against, the 49ers.
The 49ers.
It feels appropriate right now. In terms of the game from Sunday night, San Francisco starts off slow. They have a really big second half. Everybody's talking about the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo left far too much time on the clock, takes a snap with 12 seconds left. He's getting a lot of slander on Twitter, at least from what I've seen. Just your thoughts overall on the game from San Francisco.
Well, that was my first time ever being in Levi Stadium, and I can tell you this: the atmosphere was electric. 49er fans, thank you so much for all the love that you guys showed while I was out there. Plenty of people walked up and said, "Hey, love what you do," said what's up. That was really cool. But in terms of the game, I think that the defense should get a lot of credit because there were so many times where that game could have been put away very early in the beginning of that game. And the defense continued to hold them to 3 points at times. And that's something that can't be slept on. And then at the end of the game, Aaron Rodgers made some Aaron Rodgers throws that I'm tired of people blaming the defense for. Fred Warner, he needs to get more depth. Dude, he was deep down the field. That was a throw that even Devontae Adams had to adjust to. Only 1 or 2 guys in this league make that throw. The touchdown pass to Marquez Valdez-Scantling was disgusting. I know that you want to say that Lenore needs to drop further in his coverage. Fine, he's a rookie. That ball probably wouldn't have been touched by veterans at this point. So I think that the 49ers showed a lot of resilience in this game. And if you're a 49er fan, you got to feel a little bit better about, hey, taking a punch, being down as much as you were, and then being able to bounce back and making adjustments. The running game obviously was not what they were looking for. And the Packers kind of have done what teams are going to do to the 49ers. Crowd the middle of the field, make Jimmy Garoppolo throw outside of the numbers and stop the run game. That's pretty much just it's as simple as that at this point. And that's no slight at Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is who he is, but I have to give him credit for being able to bounce back because for a large part of that game, he struggled. He was trying to force balls into different places, but they made adjustments. He actually, he snapped the ball with 12 seconds left. That's fine. But at the same time, with 37 seconds left and you have all that field to cover, you should walk away with that, with the win in that game. At halftime, I had no idea how the 49ers were that close. When they took the lead, I had no idea how they did it because it was that much of a game where if you watch the game, you have no idea how the 49ers even were allowed to be in that position because the Packers were dominating. Kenny Clark had an amazing game in this game. He dominated on the inside. So, yeah, it was just, look, it is what it is. 49ers lose a game that a lot of teams would have lost. They've been to back-to-back NFC championships. I'm talking about the Packers at this point, and they have nothing to be upset about. Now the problem is I think that a lot of the anxiety of the 49ers fans is, here comes Seattle, here comes Arizona. You needed to win that game because now you might be in a precarious position where, listen, it is in the range of outcomes that the 49ers lose 3 straight games. So shout out to Javi Vega. This is his stat, not mine. Russell Wilson's never lost 3 straight games. Jimmy Garoppolo's never lost back-to-back games. Something's going to break in this game. We're about to find out really quick what it's about to be, and the 49ers cannot afford to start slow against the boogeyman that is known as Russell Wilson.
That is a very good stat from Javi. I did not know that. So, and you mentioned Kenny Clark, and we can transition to this into Sunday's game between Green Bay and Pittsburgh. I'm scared. I'm not looking forward to it. Look, the Steelers front seven, or the offensive line, is I'm tired of talking about how horrible they are because I've done it all week long. I did it on Green Bay radio yesterday. I'm tired of talking about it. It's not good.
Verified Jarrett doing radio hits in other places, man. I mean, like, now who's running 2 skinny dudes? It's you.
No, don't. No, you're too kind. But regardless of that, look, Ben Roethlisberger, he is currently being sacked on 5% of his dropbacks. That's the second most in his career. First is 10% back in. What? The stat came out. Watch this. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. That would be great. But Ben Roethlisberger being sacked the second most times in his career in terms of percentages on dropbacks. How do I phrase this? The most times that he was sacked in his career is back in 2007 on 10% of his dropbacks. The difference between 2007 Ben Roethlisberger and 2021 Ben Roethlisberger, 2007 Ben Roethlisberger could move, and he had a lot more time to throw. This is 2007 Ben Roethlisberger is holding the ball, running around, making plays, and getting sacked because he holds onto the ball too long. 2021 Ben Roethlisberger is throwing the ball quicker than almost any quarterback in the league and still getting sacked almost as much as any quarterback in the league. What's that tell you? The offensive line's terrible. So Pittsburgh needs to get proactive at this point. Forrest Lamp is a free agent right now. He started all 16 games for the Chargers last year. Kevin Colbert, go call him. Like, he can't be worse than anything that we've seen thus far. Like, Trey Turner and Kevin Dotson have been okay. They're still inconsistent at times as well, though, and that's not a very high bar to set right now in Pittsburgh. But for the love of God, like, Chukwuma Okorafor, not the answer. And the fact that if Joel Haig plays well this game at right tackle and they get Zach Banner back soon, would not surprise me if Okorafor is cut before the season's done because he's just been awful. They're starting 2 rookies. Ben's constantly under pressure. They can't run the ball. It's not good. They do get TJ Watt back. They get Alex Highsmith back. That's the defense is going to be the reason why they win games.
Deontay's back.
Deontay Johnson's back. Chase Claypool is out with a hamstring. Yep. So, I think it's going to be the Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth show offensively.
Or the Najee Harris 14 target show.
Look, man, I'm still floored by the decision on 4th and 10 inside the red zone when you're down 2 scores and you just throw it to the flat. Hey, what did that accomplish?
Look, so, hey, speaking of 4th down plays, I love Kyle Shanahan's. It's only chance punting on 4th and 1 at midfield during that game. Ooh, suboptimal at best, because then at the half, you run Trey Lance on 4th and 1, and look at you. You got a yard and a touchdown out of it. Like my friend Jordan Elliott says, who's much smarter than I am, if you cannot get yourself 1 single yard, you do not belong on the field at all with anybody. And Kyle Shanahan alluded to that later on in the press conference, saying, yeah, I kind of blew it. And for him to say that, that he really meant it, because he'll never say that. So, yes, 4th down decisions, they are the bane of my existence as well, Jarrett.
Well, in those situations, if Jordan got his wish, they would sign Todd Gurley, 4th and 1, Kyle Shanahan would look over it. He only
wants that for a Wedding Crashers reference. Todd! That's it. He only wants it for
get on in here. The Wedding Crashers memes that has been exchanged, it makes me happy, and I'm going to keep that. I hope that Jordan keeps it going all year. I know I'm going to try to keep doing that, but I just wanted to point that out. Todd, come on in.
Todd, come on in. You must be joking.
Would it kill you to play contact sports every once in a while? Would it? Would that make you love me? Jesus.
Well, all right. Speaking on the Wedding Crashers thing, so we can move on to a transition a little bit. The Eli and Peyton cast. So there was a point where Eli Manning, someone sent a tweet in saying, "Hey, Eli Manning still looks like he lives with his parents," and Eli Manning yells,
"Ma, the meatloaf!" They've had back-to-back weeks of Wedding Crashers reference
Yep.
on the Eli Payton cast. I
Yep.
can't remember what the first one was, but it's really bothering me.
But it's
But I
good
know
though. I mean, they're good though, and I was very
they're
shocked at how good they are.
yes. If you're not watching the game through the Eli Payton telecast, you're watching it wrong.
Right.
No offense to Steve Levy or Louis Riddick or Greasy or anything. Monday Night Football broadcast booths haven't been good since McDonough and Gruden. It's just been not good.
I might even take it a little bit further back. Like
Tirico and Gruden.
Tirico and Gruden. Yeah, I might take it a little bit further back than that. Yes, I agree, man. But yeah, but in terms of this game with the Steelers and the Packers, like I said, Deontay's back. Najee, 14 targets. That's not really what you want. Like you're not trying to do that to Najee, and I think that a little bit of here's what concerns me, Jarrett. Matt Canada saying we're not going to change anything that we're doing. We're just going to continue to keep, dude. Come on, man. Come on. Listen, you can do what you want to do, right? Like, listen, you're far smarter than I am, right? You're an offensive coordinator. I'm just a two skinny dude, one of the two skinny dudes. But here's my thing: is don't say that in the public because it comes off arrogant, right? Like, obviously, what's going on right now, and I understand that Ben has to get the ball out right now because you have offensive line concerns. But don't say that. Don't say it like that. Like almost just like I don't care. We're not changing anything. Yeah. Your fan base expects a certain level of excellence because you guys are the Sixburg Steelers and all that. We get it. But at the same time, this is Ben's last year. You got to try to at least do something a little bit different. I just don't know if the personnel allows them to do anything different. But for Matt Canada to come out and say, we're not changing anything, comes off arrogant, man. And it comes off a little bit like banging your head against the wall type stuff. And the type of coaches that I don't like in this league, the guys who, like Mike McCarthy, instead of calling a timeout at the half, literally went to the ref even looked at him like timeout. And he was just like, no, I'm good. I get you won the game, but that's the Eagles. If you try that against another team and you don't maximize your chances and score points, that's going to come back to bite you. So I just don't like the banging of the wall, the head on the wall with coaches and that old dinosaur mentality. I really just don't like that, man. Like, you have to adapt. You have to adjust. So that's my concern right now going into this game, Jared, because right now, Aaron Rodgers, the last 2 weeks, has thrown footballs better than I've seen him throw, like even last year when he was MVP. Some of these throws are just insane. They're absolute lasers all over the field. And the chemistry that him and Davante Adams has, I don't know if I've ever, and this might be a hot take, I don't know if I've ever seen a connection like this where they absolutely know where they're going with the ball. He knows when to get rid of it. And in Green Bay's offense, I know this sounds stupid, right? But in Green Bay's offense, the number one read in every single passing concept is Davante Adams. And I know that sounds stupid, right? Because you're just like, yeah, well, it's the same thing with Michael Thomas or DeAndre Hopkins. No, it's not. Like, Arizona doesn't have things that are built in right away for DeAndre Hopkins. The Packers actually allow Aaron Rodgers to look around, say, where's Davante Adams? Okay, that's my first read. Okay, I'm not going there. I'm going somewhere else. Not only do they trust him to pre-snap read everything else, they trust him to be able to accurately throw the ball to Davante Adams. And they're on the same page so well that I don't know if there's a cornerback that can stop Davante Adams. You just can't. The way that they line him up everywhere. And that chemistry is outmatched right now. You can't match it. And Aaron Rodgers has just been playing amazing football after a horrendous week one.
Yeah. When they've got, Jesus Christ and 12 back there, it's hard to stop. Now I will say this, getting
next year's Steelers quarterback.
Yeah. I'm fully on board with this. Like, it started off as a joke, but now I'm like, there's not a 0% chance that he's in Pittsburgh next year. I'll say that. Like, there's a chance. I'm just going to hope that he likes black and yellow more than he likes the color orange, because that seems to be the front runner right now. But no, getting Deontay Johnson's back is huge because, while Juju Smith-Schuster and James Washington each bring their own talent to the table, Deontay's the only one who can gain natural separation. Juju's going to be used as that underneath guy because he just doesn't go down at first contact. And that's his biggest strength, is that he's just so tough in the underneath game. James Washington has the best hands on the team, but in terms of just pure receiver getting open, Deontay Johnson is the best receiver on this team. And like I said, Pat Freiermuth, second round pick, rookie out of Penn State, has been playing really well. He's becoming an increasingly important part of this offense. So in terms of safety valves, he's going to start becoming that Heath Miller type player for Ben when the play breaks down, which it inevitably will. Pat Freiermuth is going to be the guy that he starts looking for in that and those intermediate routes. So, but in terms of what's wrong, and we'll move on from this, you mentioned Canada. It's if you look at Ben's passing charts from weeks 1, 2, and 3, the one common outlier is that they don't throw the ball deep between the hashes. It is absolutely naked there whenever you look at Ben's passing charts.
Zach. This is a good question from Zach.
What's going on with Minkah? I actually wrote about this on Pittsburgh Sports Now, referring that Minkah Fitzpatrick needs to make a big play this game. In terms of like what's going on with them, like he's looked really well in terms of like attacking the line of scrimmage, like downhill running and getting to the ball. He's always had a really good nose for the ball. He showed that in Buffalo week 1 and played really well. There was one play against Vegas that was 100% on him. And he admitted it post game to us, during the press conference, is that they were so much keying in on Darren Waller. Darren Waller was going over the middle of the field. Minkah steps up to take away Waller. They go deep to Ruggs, who was one-on-one with Ahkello Witherspoon at that point, and he burns past Witherspoon because he's got no safety help because Minkah jumped up to take away Waller. So that's where he thought the ball was going. So I can't put it too much on Minkah thus far because he has made a lot of good plays. He just hasn't had a takeaway yet. And I know that's what everybody wants to see with an all-pro safety is a ton of takeaways. Minkah started off slow last year, though, too. And he still made all-pro because he had a hell of a season down the stretch. So I think that once we keep going and whatnot, this could be the week where he makes his first big play against Aaron Rodgers and this team. So getting TJ Watt back, getting Alex Highsmith back where they have a pass rush, they could put a little bit of pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they cause a turnover and Minkah's the guy who gets it. He's the one who actually caused the interception last week against the Bengals when it got deflected in the air and Terrell Edmonds caught it. So Minkah's making plays. It's just not necessarily showing up sexy on the stat sheet. So I think he's fine. He started off this way last year. I think he'll be just fine.
Okay, I like it. Do you want to go through the week 4? I know that I put week 3 on here. The week 4 matchups. We'll give some quick thoughts and then maybe give a prediction. We don't have to necessarily give scores, just who's going to win.
All right. Well, we haven't even touched on this yet. Tom Brady going back to Foxborough.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm excited.
And also, whose social media game is better than Tom Brady's at this point? Because that video that he put out today. Yeah.
No idea who made that video, but I hope he paid them well. That was amazing.
Amazing, because he fast forwarded through the Super Bowl losses. I thought that was really genius as well too. But yeah, absolutely. So yeah, go for it. Brady back. Gronk's not going to play in this game, which would have been cool for him to get back there too as well. But apparently he just got off the bus or the plane in New England, and there were Patriots fans chanting Brady, Brady, Brady there. So there's going to be a lot of love given out, and I think that any football fan, doesn't matter what team, you got to kind of take this in as a moment, right? You're never going to see anything like this again, ever in your life. And 49er fans right now have been reminded of Tom Brady because of that report that came out, about how he wanted the 49ers and the 49ers passed on him, at that point. We don't have to touch on that because I've given my thoughts. Everybody in 2020, when that was something that was a possibility, people were like, oh, no, why would you do that? Brady is at his age and Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, it's revisionist history for any 49ers fan to sit here and tell you that they wanted Tom Brady because I can remember clearly on my timeline, people, no way, no chance. Jimmy Garoppolo still hasn't hit his ceiling. This guy's 40-something. No. So for people to be outraged about that, that's a little bit fake, in my opinion. The only thing that I really didn't jive with when it came out was marginally better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think that the decision was more made about money and age, less than about talent, because I would never in any breath that I've ever made, and I've said some dumb things in my life, would never have said that Tom Brady is marginally better than Jim Garoppolo. I don't care how bad he was that last year with the Patriots. I still would have never said that. Jimmy Garoppolo has never displayed anything near to what Tom Brady has in terms of deep ball. But this Brady thing, man, I mean, you should sit back and enjoy it. Especially because you're never going to see a quarterback do this ever. And Patrick Mahomes is off to a great start. He's still probably not going to be able to do this because it's just impossible in this league with the parity to be able to win that much.
Yeah. And, I don't think we're going to see like a LeBron-like reception whenever he left Cleveland the first time and they came back and he booed him like crazy.
Just why, James? Why, James? Like, that's like just why? I'm sorry.
No, it's good that, fans are going to cheer him like crazy, and they should. They won 6 Super Bowls with Tom Brady. I think the fans should, appreciate everything that he's done for the team, and they're gonna. But yeah, this is going to be exciting. I'm more looking forward to what happens post-game between Brady and Belichick than I am the actual game, if I'm being completely honest.
But Belichick keeps saying Brady's the only quarterback I've ever wanted, the only quarterback that I've ever want to hear. He keeps saying that over and over. If you're Mac Jones right now, you're probably punching the air, but hearing that, you definitely don't want to hear that. So, but no, it is going to be great. Honestly, it's going to be a great game. You definitely want to see what that interaction is like at the end there. I got the Bucs winning that game by a considerable margin because the Patriots, unfortunately, the Patriots unfortunately don't have the defense or the offense to keep up with those guys. I understand that the Bucs secondary is a little bit, banged up. You can kind of torch them there, but I don't think anybody's really worried about Mac Jones lighting it up to Nelson Aguilar or, no disrespect, Kendrick Bourne or, any of those guys. So I think that there's going to be a trip down memory lane. Should be good for football fans to reflect on something that you're never going to see again, even if that's not your favorite team. But I got the Bucs winning this game considerably. I think that Tom Brady's not only going to break the record in front of New England, in front of their fans, he's going to break the passing record, right? Like he's only like 300 something yards away.
No, he's like 66 yards away or something like that. Yeah.
So done. So that's done. And I think that Tom Brady kind of comes back and runs a little victory lap on the Patriots, and they win by a considerable margin.
Yeah, and the thing with the Patriots is that, yes, Tampa Bay's secondary isn't very good, but the Patriots' deep ball is about 3 feet right now, so that's going to play right into the hand of Tampa Bay's defense. So
for sure,
the lines, Tampa Bay's only favored by 7. You can bet your ass that I bet that right away.
Easily.
Yeah. So, I think it'll be a fun trip down memory lane, like you said. It'll be a once in a lifetime type thing. Like we're never going to see anything quite like this again. And that's exciting for football fans. And I hate to say it, ever since Tom Brady's left New England, I can't help but like him a lot. He's funny. I can't help it. He's great. So it'll be a good moment. It'll be a fun moment, something to kind of soak in. That'll be exciting. So I do think Tampa Bay wins that. One game that I am looking forward to, Baltimore and Denver in Mile High. I think that's going to be a very good one. The Ravens started off.
Your favorite quarterback.
Look, we can sit here and talk about that all day, but Baltimore started off as a 1.5 underdog. They're now favored to win by 1. It's basically a pick 'em at this point. Denver 3-0. Their defense looks really good. Teddy Bridgewater looks really good. I'm not going to say, they've played the Jets. They played the Giants. I don't care. They don't pick who they play. Right. And they've looked really good doing it. Teddy Bridgewater.
Sounds like the 49ers in 2019. You beat the Bucs. Yes. You beat this team. You beat this team. Hey, man, you only play who's across from you, and good teams are going to dominate like that. So, I mean, it might be time. Denver and Carolina right now probably have the 1 and 2 defenses that I've seen so far this season.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that Denver's a powerhouse by any means, but I think they're going to be vying for a playoff spot, when we get to December, January. So this is a game that I think Denver wins because, and look, I know my reputation on Twitter. I've given Lamar Jackson more props this year than I think I ever have.
Hey, what he did in Detroit was dope. He beat Kansas City. Like Lamar's playing well, man. It's just it's not the way you want to see it be played, but he's playing well, man. Come on.
And look, week 1 against Vegas, he made 2 of the best throws I've ever seen him make. He made the throw in the end zone to Hollywood Brown on the run when the play broke down. I tweeted it. You can go back and find it. I gave him, and the over-the-shoulder throw to Sammy Watkins, I tweeted that too because it was a fantastic throw. And he ran buck wild on Kansas City in week 2. A lot of that was because Kansas City sat in the same zone for 4 quarters and didn't change. But aside from that, he played extremely well against Kansas City. Against Detroit, I can't get mad at him for Hollywood Brown drops, but he still went 16 to 31. He's still 25th in the league in passer rating. He's still bottom half of the league in QBR. He's only completing barely above 60% of his passes. He's a dynamic talent. He's one of the 3 best football players in the NFL. In terms of quarterback play, down 6, there's a lot of guys I'm taking ahead of him. That's all I've ever said.
You're talking about from the pocket though, so that's something completely
different.
Not
even from the pocket, just passing in general, mate. His passing numbers have never been that great. I don't want to hear about he led the NFL in touchdowns. That's awesome. I'm not saying he didn't do that, but when you look at just how consistent he is and how consistently accurate he is, especially downfield outside the numbers, it hasn't been great. And he's been. Don't get me wrong. He looked fantastic in week 2 in terms of running the ball, and he's made plays with his legs, the occasional one with his arm as well. 4th and 19, give him all the credit in the world. That's great. If he doesn't have a kicker that has the leg of Jesus Christ, they're sitting at 1 and 2 right now. And
that's a kicker that's worth paying.
Exactly. And if Clyde Edwards-Helaire holds onto the ball, they very well could be 0 and 3 right now. So I'm not trying to take anything away, but context is needed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But at the same time, Good teams find ways to win games, and he's been winning games. And that fourth down call, again, Harbaugh putting his trust in.
I loved that.
I love
Everything
it. I
about
love
that.
it. Lamar, you want to go for it? Cool. I trust my quarterback. Put the thing down and go for it. Like, I love that. And I I'm kind of jealous. I would love to see that sort of trust between my coach and our quarterback.
Me too, Jay. Me too.
All right. So Ravens and who are we talking about here? The other team. I'm sorry. I just
Broncos.
out. Broncos. I got Denver in this one.
Yeah.
I do. I just think that they're a little bit more well-rounded. They're built to do this. A lot of what's going on in the NFL in terms of defense comes from Vic Fangio and his blueprint. So in the same way that Kyle Shanahan is kind of the blueprint for so many new offenses, Vic Fangio is kind of the blueprint for how many defenses are actually running his stuff. Patrick Surtain is better than anybody could have actually thought that he was at some point, because a lot of people were kind of a little bit down on him towards the draft. Right now, they've kind of changed their tune on him. Denver's a loaded roster. Look, Denver can easily walk away from this game 4-0, which is what I'm predicting. And I can still say confidently that they're just a quarterback away. Like, if they were able to get Aaron Rodgers, this team, oh my goodness,
they would be my Super Bowl pick if they had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, without Jerry Jeudy,
Bro, can you imagine? We get 2 games a year between Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert. The Raiders look good. We get Aaron Rodgers against the Raiders.
Best division of football.
Oh my
best
goodness.
division of football right now. And I thought it was going to be the NFC West. It turns out the AFC West is the best division of football right now.
I'm going to disagree slightly because I think the Rams right now are the best team in football. Arizona's playing incredible right now.
We'll see about Arizona.
We will, and we might as well just dive into Rams Cardinals right now too, because we're gonna really find out how good Arizona is that game. We know how great Kyler Murray is. We know how good the offense is. The defense came to play Week 1 against Tennessee. Chandler Jones ate Ryan Tannehill for 3 hours. It was awesome. But there are still questions on that side of the ball, and when you're facing Matthew Stafford, who good for Matthew Stafford, man. I couldn't be happy.
But wait.
Detroit didn't win, so he must be bad.
Oh, but wait. I heard Matthew Stafford was bad. Oh, but wait. He couldn't do it with Megatron. I was like, I'm tired. Like, all these 49ers fans, when we were talking about this, and I told you guys I was scared to death. This is what I was scared to death of. Like, why? What? Like, it's not even a hard conclusion to draw at all, man. Like, I had a 49er fan. This is the wildest thing I've ever seen, probably. Tweet out with his whole chest, Jared Goff is going to do better in Detroit than Matthew Stafford is in LA. I don't know where you're getting your drugs, but I would like to get a hold of some of those. Listen, man, it's clear as day what was going to happen when this happened. Cool, you could take a step back on defense, but now you've got a quarterback who, when guys are running wide open, as they always have been, because Sean McVay is a great play caller, can
Cooper Kupp against the Bears.
Cooper Kupp is leading the league in receiving yards right now. Like, and the way that McVay is dialing it up, man, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was afraid of this entire time. This is why when Matthew Stafford was pulled out from the 49ers, under their nose when we were in Mobile, I was like, oh man, this isn't good at all. Because now Matthew Stafford has a defense which is still top heavy and will keep him in games. And he's got the best play caller that he could possibly have right now at this point. Matthew Stafford right now is an MVP candidate. I mean, it's just this is what you didn't want. This is the point. And the Rams own the Cardinals. Own them. Absolutely own them as long as Sean McVay's been there. I am not even going to be shy about this pick. The Rams beat the Cardinals, and the Cardinals get a little bit exposed because I still believe that they're still not as good. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because Cliff Kingsbury is their coach.
Yeah, we know how you feel about Cliff Kingsbury. And, watching you freak out with Leo and Brad Graham while in Mobile was a sight to behold, I will say. It was.
We all just sat there. We all just sat there and just put our hands on our head like the Rams, dude, of all the teams, the Rams really.
I remember, really. We're all just sitting there chilling in the Airbnb and we get the notification. Oh, my goodness. And then everybody was just kind of in shock at that point because then – we're getting a little bit off track, but everybody just kind of went, okay, I guess they're going to draft somebody now because, obviously the Stafford thing didn't come through. So it was a kind of surreal moment. And immediately 49ers Twitter was just like, what are we going to do?
No. 49ers Twitter. I don't care. He never did it with this guy. I was like, dude, you guys are so blinded right now at this point. Like, again, I literally came back from Mobile, jumped on Vicious show, and he asked me, and I said, 49ers fans, You own the Jared Goff led Rams. You do not own the Matthew Stafford led Rams. And now you're like, it's bad right now. This is real bad. Like, again, so yeah, I got the Rams in this one, man. Their offense looks incredible, man. When Deshaun Jackson's running by himself and Matthew Stafford's allowed to like let that thing go and it's just in the air, like, come on, man. Like, this is not going to be good at all, man. And I understand everybody's like, well, the offensive line took back. No, man, he still knows where to go with the ball. McVay's going to scheme around that. Darrell Henderson didn't even play last week, and they beat the world champions, man. Come on, man. Like, what are we even doing here at this point?
And we can even use this to transition to the Bears and the Lions, because I think that the Lions are going to. I think the Lions are going to beat the Bears this weekend, and I think this is where Matt Nagy's seat gets scorching hot.
My sweet prince,
Justin Fields, man. And Dan Orlovsky made an incredible point about this. He said you had 134 days to think of any sort of game plan to use Justin Fields and his athleticism, and you put that out against one of the best pass rushes in the league. They allow him to get sacked 9 times and go 6 of 16 and look absolutely terrible, which we all know he's not, which we all know Justin Fields is not terrible. Right now, Nagy's got to be on the hot seat. And if they lose against Detroit and sit at 0-4, there's going to be a lot more talk about, okay, Nagy might be gone before the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, look, I want to make sure that I'm clear about this, right? And I'm not biased, right? Because we all know that, like whenever I jump on somebody's show, somebody will jump in the comments and say, oh, look, it's a Justin Fields guy. Yes, I'm the Justin Fields guy. I am. But at the same time, piss poor game plan, tackles played like dog. I don't even want to curse because this is a family show. And Matt Nagy's the worst, man. And also at the same time, Justin Fields missed a lot of throws, and there were throws that were right there in front of him that he like literally airmailed into the seats. And I was just like, oh my goodness, man. Like but again, rookie, putting him out there in a bad situation, it's not all him, but he's going to take his lumps. I still believe in the talent. I'm always going to go talent over it. But at this point, it's bizarre. Matt Nagy literally made this trade up happen to save his job, only to bench him.
Yeah.
And here's the worst comment. Oh, we're starting to see some things now that he's getting every single rep. Well, welcome to the party, pal. Like I don't understand this discussion. And I don't understand why a coach would ever say that. Jared, sometimes I start to think, man, you know what? I'm not as smart as these coaches. But when you hear a coach say something dumb like that, man, you start to think, man, you know what? Maybe I could do this job. Like if someone put me on and said, hey, I got in the elevator with Kyle Shanahan. He rubbed my shoulder. Oh, let's put him in. Like, that's it. Like basically how people are getting jobs at this point. It's like, damn, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't understand what's going on. At the same time, I think the Lions do win this game as well, too. But I do think that Justin Fields plays much better this week because there's no way that he could play worse than he did last week.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I started off saying, why aren't they playing Justin Fields? And then I saw what happened week 1, and I said, oh, the offensive line's horrible, and they're more okay with getting Andy Dalton murdered than Justin Fields. I can get behind that. Like, as morbid as it is, yeah, feed Andy Dalton to the Wolves and preserve a guy who you want to be your franchise for the next 10 years. Completely understand that. If you're going to start him, you should have started him against Detroit for his debut, not against one of the best pass rushes in the NFL to have him get absolutely murdered for 3 hours.
In Cleveland.
And now, it would have been a home debut against a Lions team that is also winless. And if he goes out and plays well and they get a win, then maybe, Chicago's starting to be like, okay, we got a guy here. I don't know what Jay's doing right now, but I'm here. Okay, I was just making sure. But yeah, if the best call would have been to have him start against Detroit, not throw him to the Wolves against Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney to have him get eaten alive. And now he's going to have his confidence kind of buried a little bit. Now, I'm not going to say, Justin Fields seems like a pretty headstrong guy.
I think his biggest mistake was saying the game's too slow, or don't say that. Like, I know what you kind of meant, about, hey, I know what I'm facing, but no, man, people are going to use that as bulletin board material. And then this is how shell-shocked this team is. Allen Robinson got a dime put in his lap for a touchdown, right? And he didn't have to jump up for it. He didn't have to make an amazing play, and he dropped it. And that was just, I think that was Allen Robinson being like, wait, that happens? Like, you can get a ball placed in your lap? Like, so it's a combination of like the Bears have weapons. Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, David Montgomery is a fine, running back. But it's Nagy, man, and this is it. Like if Fields goes out there and he face plants again, or they go 0-4, like I think they will. I think the Lions actually win this game. And as much as I was down on Dan Campbell, this team seems to be competitive in spurts. Like they gave the 49ers everything they can handle at the end of that first game. For a large stretch of that second game, they were giving it to the Packers, and then it took the Ravens winning on a miracle kick to beat them. I'm very surprised at how competitive they've looked and how good Jared Goff's looked in the offense that's a little bit more tailored to him, and also unlocking TJ Hawkinson because he just seems to be the number one read on everything for Jared Goff. So I fear for the kid because you can ruin guys' trajectories with inept play calling, with inept game planning, and that's all I'm afraid of. I think the kid is good enough to overcome it. He was my quarterback too. Out because obviously Lawrence is the golden boy, but I still see the Lions winning this game, and Matt Nagy if the Bears don't fire Matt Nagy after this loss, Chicago sports radio will, and the fans will get him. They will carry him out of that facility at this point. So I just don't know who the replacement could be. I would love to see Eric Bieniemy head over there next year. Get
Brian Davis, maybe.
Right. Kellen Moore, somebody like that, man. Like somebody who's at least on the side of progression. Because it seems to be that Matt Nagy's been skating by with the narrative that he is an Andy Reid disciple. Just seems to me that he coached under Andy Reid. He's no disciple in my book. So,
yeah. And, credit to Jared Goff. We mentioned it already. He's played well.
Yes.
And a lot of people kind of wrote him off when he got traded to Detroit. So
sure.
Good for him. They are 0-3, but he has looked really well. He's played really well. Last week, maybe the Jets and the Titans. No AJ Brown, no Julio.
No AJ
Jones.
Brown, no Julio. Chester Rogers season for everybody who plays fantasy football.
You know what? I'm half tempted.
Derrick Henry gets 800 carries in this game. What over under?
Yeah, I'm half tempted. I already bet the Jets +7. I'm half tempted to just bet them outright. See what happens.
Well, look. Speaking of rookie quarterbacks,
and you know how high I was on Zach Wilson coming in.
Oh yeah, and we all were. I had him at 3, right behind Justin Fields, and then I had Trey Lance 4. But man, that team is really bad, and it's not even necessarily their defense. The defense is going to be fine; they'll be all right. But man,
they are saying Marcus May too for at least 3 weeks, and that's not going to help their cause either on that side of the ball. But
it's not. But this is a team that I struggle to figure out how they even get to 4 wins. I struggle. I have no idea how that happens. I don't know what sort of circumstances that could happen under. Zach Wilson is taking his lumps. And a lot of that stuff that we were concerned about on tape is popping up now. A little bit too much hero ball, not really reading, the field as well. He was throwing to a lot of guys open in BYU, but I'm still not all the way out on him or anything like that. Again, it's just
man. Games. It's been the thing that pisses me off the most is that everybody is so quick to write a guy off after 3 games. Everybody's 7 interceptions through 3 games. He's done. He's a bust.
No, that's and the same thing could be said if let's say Zach Wilson came out and he lit it up for 4 touchdowns in each game. That doesn't mean that he's going to be the second coming either. So one way or another, you can't overreact to these first few weeks, especially when you're talking about how that roster is. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, and you already mentioned, he has tried to play a little bit too much hero ball. He's throwing into windows that just aren't open. And we saw it especially against New England, a little bit less to a degree in the first half against Carolina. He played well in the second half against the Panthers, which is promising to see. They also have lost a few offensive line pieces, so he's got a little bit less time to throw, not as strongly protected. And he's a rookie. And I'm tired, people are tweeting. I saw a tweet that just irked me. It's saying that, Dwayne Haskins had 7 interceptions through his rookie year, and now we label him a bust. Zach Wilson has 7 interceptions through 3 games, and it's him, just progressing. Yeah, dude, because it's been 3 freaking games. We've never questioned, the fact that Zach Wilson's mature, because he is. He's proven that. The reason that Dwayne Haskins is a bust is because he goes to strip clubs during a pandemic, skips post-game press conferences, is inaccurate, and doesn't play well. So
wait a minute, that's your future quarterback. Don't talk crazy about him.
Dwayne Haskins is going to be somewhere else after this year. If they re-sign him, so help me God, I'm going to go on a rampage on Twitter.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So let's stop comparing a quarterback who hurt his own career to a guy like Zach Wilson, who's said all the right things, done all the right things, and is just struggling in a dumpster fire franchise. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Robert Saleh, and I think he's starting to kind of turn that ship around. But let's give him more than a month. Yeah. It's been 3 games. Yeah. He's facing a Titans defense that struggled this year. Let's see what he does. And
I mean, look, the weapons around him aren't exactly great. I don't know what's going on with Denzel Mims. Somehow a second-round pick cannot even sniff the field anymore at this point. I don't understand that portion of it. Seems to me that the whole Kyle Shanahan doghouse thing that started with Brandon Ayuk the first few weeks kind of just carried over with a bunch of their coaches, and that's how they feel. Like as soon as you start messing up, they don't want to play you anymore. Yeah. Elijah Moore is not going to play in this game, who they had a big connection during training camp. I'm very big on Elijah Moore. Me too. I mean, again, and Michael Carter, it continues to show flashes, but they're always in negative game scripts where he's not going to get a chance to show his stuff. And look, it's a process. Jet fans, they shouldn't be panicked because, let's just face it, I don't want to be a jerk, but like you guys really don't have much to like. There's no litmus test to like compare this to, right? Like you can't compare this. Yeah. You know, it's not like, oh my God, you know, he's replacing a guy who, well, no, the Jets usually don't win. So show a little bit of patience. Like show some patience, man. Like, come on. Like I live on this side. You know, I live in the East Coast. I live right here. I'm 20 minutes from MetLife. They're full-blown panic. He's a bust. It's over. Oh my God. Relax.
And they shouldn't be.
Relax. Okay. You gave Geno Smith a bunch of shots. Relax. Relax.
Smith. Yeah, Mark Sanchez led them to back-to-back AFC Championship games. I think Zach Wilson's going to be just fine. And he'll be all right. Look. Troy Aikman won one game.
By the way, too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm up in the air. I'm not touching it in terms of money line. I'm tempted to. I'm not gonna.
No. Well, I'm not talking about spread. I think the Titans find a way to win this game. If the Titans don't win this game, this is more. I don't care who's not playing. AJ Brown, Julio Jones. Yeah. This is more on them because they're a team that has aspirations to make the playoffs and stuff like that. If they can't find a way to beat this Jets team, they're in trouble.
Yeah, and look, in terms of Zach Wilson, like the Cowboys won one game, Troy Aikman's rookie year. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even the one who won it. He was hurt that game. Right. And Peyton Manning threw 26 interceptions his rookie year.
Come on.
I'm not saying that Zach Wilson's going to be Peyton Manning or Troy Aikman, but he's going to be fine. So let's stop freaking out after 3 games. Give him a little bit of time. Give him more than less than a month to prove his worth and see what happens. Like Jared Goff had a horrible rookie year too, and he's turned out somewhat okay. I think he's going to be better than Jared Goff. So calm down. In terms of other big games, we got Browns Vikings. That'll be a fun one to watch. I think
Browns Vikings.
That'll be a fun one. That's in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins playing really well this year. Hasn't thrown an interception.
No. He's not playing really well.
He's playing great.
Playing very well. And look, 49er fans, I hate to keep bringing this up, but you guys looked me dead in my face and told me Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield. Wrong. Okay? You've been wrong about Kirk. It's so easy to hate Kirk Cousins. So easy. Why? He's a dork. At the same time, this man is playing at a level that you wish your quarterback was playing at this point. I'm tired of it, man. PFF knew exactly what they were doing by putting out that 4. Garoppolo, Carr, Cousins, and Baker. Guess what? Garoppolo's the 4th best out of that group. And Derek Carr right now is an MVP candidate, and Kirk Cousins is not far behind him. He is playing exceptional football. Exceptional. That's the only way that I can put it. Kirk Cousins is balling right now. And I just want 49er fans to the disrespect. The apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect when it comes to Kirk Cousins. That's it, man.
And you know what? Let me publicly apologize to Raider fans because for the love of God, so, Kurt and I on Laces Out, did our division predictions. I had the Raiders with 4 wins. Kurt had them with 3. Raiders fans are the most miserable fan base on the face of this earth and have nothing better to do than to yell at us. Dude,
they've been giving it to you.
Credit to Raiders fans because when they find somebody that they don't like, they all band together and attack. That's what they've done to me. So, Raiders fans, kudos to you. Team's 3-0. I think they're going to lose this weekend because the Chargers are playing really well, and I like them more than I like the Raiders. But yeah, good job, Derek Carr. Good for him. He's an easy guy to root for.
He's playing well.
He's playing very well. So good for the Raiders. Let's hope that it doesn't fall apart in the second half of the season like it did last year. I'm not ruling that out because of who their GM and coach is. But we'll see. We'll see. They're playing well right now. They're 3-0. Good for them. Still like the Chargers on Monday night. Justin Herbert
Oh,
is.
you think the Chargers win that game, huh?
Oh, Justin Herbert is my Lord and Savior. I love everything about him. He's playing very well.
So Vikings Browns. This is going to be a very good game.
That's one of my favorite games of the early window. I think it's going to be very fun to watch.
Yeah. You know what? Give me the Vikings. I think that
I agree.
I think Dalvin Cook's going to play in this game. I think that Kirk Cousins is playing at a level right now that can't be touched in terms of like how well he's played. Like he's had stretches of really good football. Right now, I think this is the best football he's ever played. That has nothing to do with fantasy football or anything like that. He just seems to be on target. And he's always my point to there's a difference between completion percentage and accuracy. You can complete a pass and not be accurate, but Kirk Cousins is accurate. The reason that Justin Jefferson is able to catch the ball and run past people is because he doesn't have to slow down. The ball's exactly where it needs to be, and he takes it and he's out with it. Like, this is how good Kirk Cousins has been. Put it like this. Last week, they were missing Dalvin Cook. Didn't miss a beat. If you were, like, watching the game in, like, just back and forth, you would say, oh, Dalvin Cook is running it up. Guess what? Alexander Mattison is the same sort of guy in terms of how they run things. They've got a really good team over there. The only thing that they really need to worry about is their defense more than anything. But their offense is rolling right now. It's rolling.
Yeah, I think to me, the Vikings are the NFC's equivalent to Tennessee, where their offense is going to be fun, but their defense is going to be a question mark. And we're just going to have to see what happens. I did see another one. Where did I want to touch on? Colts Dolphins. Yeah, the Colts are going to win. I do think.
Wait. Jacoby Brissett revenge game, and you're picking the Colts?
Absolutely. I'm sorry if Jacoby Brissett doesn't scare me.
Oh my goodness, man! I can't believe it. I will not stand for Brissett slander. I will not. No, so in this game, Carson Wentz had 2 sprained ankles. He played last week.
Good for him.
Yeah. And Quentin Nelson on IR.
Look, I will say this, but I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like,
you're good.
How the hell do you sprain both ankles?
Both ankles. I mean, as 49ers fans, we all know about high ankle sprains. You know, I've been adding him on Twitter telling me, shout out Angie Sunshine on that one. Actually, I can't wait to clip that and send that to her. But yeah, you know, as 49er fans, we know fully well. But he sprained both his ankles and God, how? I mean, I just don't like. I was always told that a sprained ankle meant that you were out for the rest of the season. I don't know how this man played on both of those things. So.
Look, say what you want about Carson. You know, I'm a Carson Wentz truther.
Yep.
Dude's ballsy. He's tough. And you can't ever take that away from him. And look, this is a Colts team that's better than their 0-3 record shows. They very well should have and could have beaten the Rams, if not for a bad Carson Wentz decision. I know I'm kind of, backtracking myself when I say that, but they've played, in the Seattle game, kind of got away from them a little bit, but they had moments in that game as well. To me, they're, defensively, they're still solid. Offensively, they've been in games. It's just a matter of finishing. So I do think that they beat Miami this week. It's in Miami. They're 2.5-point dogs. I already bet it. Bet the money line. I've got them in a couple parlays too. So if they screw me here, I'm going to be a sad man. But I do like Indianapolis this week against Miami. Dolphins are just a bad football team. Outside of their secondary, nothing about that team scares me. So,
well, right now they're not playing well. We had good aspirations for them going forward. We thought that maybe Tua might take a step. Waddle's playing very well. I'll give him that.
He took a step. It's just in the other direction. He played horrible so far.
Yeah,
granted, it's only been a couple of games, but he doesn't look good.
And then when you start to look at how Justin Herbert's doing, it looks like a colossal miss for you to take Tua over Herbert. Yeah, that's gonna be one of those. That's that Sam Bowie, Michael Jordan thing that they're gonna be.
That's that Mitch Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes thing. We got recent history on this too. So
yeah,
it's one of those things, man.
I like Flores as a coach, man. I really do. I just don't think that right now he has the personnel to do it and get it done. So, we'll see. But, I'm with you. I think the Colts are going to win this game. They should win this game. If they don't, then there's a lot, going on over there that's worse. Michael Pittman's starting to come into his own a little bit more, and that's great. That's what we want to see. Carson Wentz is, like, playing his heart out, man, with 2 sprained ankles, man. Like, goodness gracious, man. Like, I kind of tweaked my hip on the flight back, and I was just like, all right, I'm out for 2 weeks. That's it. I'm not doing anything. Like, I can't.
Bro, one time I had a crick in my neck and I skipped school. Like, I can't do this. This is horrible.
I had a hangnail on my toe, and I was just like, all right, I'm not walking around nothing. I'm just gonna go sit.
Exactly. We touched on the New York team earlier. We might as well touch on the other one. Giants are 7-point underdogs against the Saints. I would not be shocked in the slightest if they win this game. The Saints, to me, are the most overrated team in football right now. Jameis Winston hasn't thrown for 200 yards yet in a game, and everybody's, after week one, like, Jameis Winston threw 5. He had 140 yards. Let's slow down.
Think about if Jimmy Garoppolo did that.
Oh, Christ, I don't want to.
But people will be killing him for that, right?
Yeah, like, this is a team that is going to win games. To me, they're similar to Pittsburgh. They're going to win games because of their defense. Their quarterback isn't good. They're a less offensively talented Pittsburgh Steelers team. Like, offensive line-wise, they're better. Skill position, it's Alvin Kamara and who? Excuse me if I'm not afraid of Marquez Callaway. Like, it's one of those things where Jameis, the Jameis I know and love stood up in week 2, putting the ball in his left hand and throwing it at his offensive lineman's face. That's the Jameis I know. So to me,
hope Andrew Pasquini's not watching this. The Jameis slander will not.
Oh, I know. Drew's a big Jameis truther, and I know. I don't know why. I try not to, like, I don't have anything personally against Jameis Winston. Yeah. I just hate the same thing with, like, Taysom Hill. I just hate that the media acts like these guys are the second coming. They're not. They're not good. Jameis isn't good. So
Saints and who are we talking about here?
The Giants.
So the Giants need a win better than they need anything, because
yes.
If you're talking about the Jets and their fan base panicking, that fan base is in shambles right now, right? So that defense last year was great. It's still great. I think it's a good defense. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
But, Evan Ingram coming back, Galladay, now Sterling Shepard's out, Darius Slayton's out.
That's a big blow.
Yeah, it is. And Sterling Shepard was balling. And you could see, like, him, they were so close against Washington. They literally could have won that game.
Should have won that game.
I mean, I think the Giant fans right now, they've got they feel like the guillotine is up top on them, and they think that this game is going to come out that way. I think this game is a little bit closer, but in my heart, I still believe that the Saints have enough and they have the coaching to get it done, because I think that's really what's holding the Giants back. I don't like Jason Garrett. Joe Judge is like run suicides or whatever it's called. I know we can't say suicides right now or whatever it's called. Or like run.
I don't know what they call them now either.
Yeah. I don't know what they call them now. No, yeah. I know we can't refer to it as that, so I apologize. But I the whole run, take a lap thing, that has already worn out its welcome. Those guys, those are NFL guys that don't care about anything like that, man. This is not college. This is not high school at this point, man. It's wearing thin. This is Gettleman's last stand. They have to win this game. Otherwise, things get super like with the Jets. At least the Jets have like a plan. Right. Like people, like, at least there are somewhat level-headed Jets fans who are thinking the same way we are. Rome wasn't built in a day. You are literally trying to revamp a franchise that is never really had success pretty much ever.
Since 1968.
Right. But with the Giants, there was so much optimism going into the season. You and I talked when we were talking in the offseason, like, man, the Giants got a little bit of a sneaky team, like Logan Ryan, James Bradbury. That defense is loaded back there, in that spot. I understand Blake Martinez is out for the year, but at the same time, if they lose this game, the chatter grows louder and louder, and with the back pages over here, the only thing that can overshadow this is if the Yankees continue to collapse, and then nobody will talk about the Giants anymore. But yes, the Giants need to win this game, but I don't think they will. I still give me the Saints. I think the Saints will find a way to pull this game out. They are too talented and they're too well coached to lose a game to the Giants, I believe.
Yeah, the Saints are very good defensively. If the Giants don't turn this around, Sam Howell season?
No, because Daniel Jones, they're going to probably re-up. I think about.
You think they're going to extend him? 5th-year option?
Yeah, I mean, look, they took Daniel Jones where they did. If you for 4 and let him walk, that is a colossal mistake. Like and it could eventually be that even when they extend him. At this point, though, I think that they have to, and I think that they'll give whoever's the next coach a crack. Like one more shot, right? One more coach will come in here. One more offensive coordinator will come here. Whoever the GM is next year, he'll handpick his guy to try to unlock Daniel Jones. And then after that, I don't think he gets extended.
To me, the best case scenario for the New York Giants going forward, one, you move on from Joe Judge because obviously It's just not working. And I understand the argument of wanting stability, wanting consistency. There's a difference between stability and consistency where the guy there right now just isn't going to get the job done. To me, best case scenario for New York, they go up north, they snag Brian Dable, and just turn Daniel Jones into Diet Josh Allen. That's the best case scenario for them right now, I think, is, we know that Daniel Jones is talented. We know that he's athletic.
Faster quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
So to me, I think that's the best possible case scenario for New York is, look, let's go get Brian Dable. Let's have him turn Daniel Jones into what he helped turn Josh Allen into. Because to me, right now, Daniel Jones and Josh Allen are very similar in terms of they can both move. They both got good arms. And now Josh Allen's arm is a much powerful arm and a better arm than Daniel Jones. But Daniel Jones, let's not pretend that he's not a threat to be, with his feet, that he can't move, because he's proven time and time again that he can. I think that by all means, Brian Dable could fix the New York Giants. And to me, I think that whether Gettleman's there or not, my guess is he's probably not going to be. Whoever the new GM is, that should be their first initiative, is hand Brian Dable a blank check and try to turn the ship around, because I think that he's the guy that can do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to give Daniel Jones one more shot on his 5th year. And if he doesn't prove it, then that's it. You let him walk and you get back into it, because I'm not in love with this quarterback class. They're not going to be in a position to get Malik Willis, and Desmond Ridder day after day, even after today. I don't like him. I'm like low key out on Desmond Ritter. Like I
think I am too. And not to turn this into a college quarterback thing.
I'm just talking about where the Giants stand. Like you almost like no matter what happens, you almost have to bring Daniel Jones back. Otherwise, this is absolute malpractice based on what's going on with this franchise.
Yeah. So to me, best case scenario, Brian Dable comes south from Buffalo to East Rutherford. That's where I was trying to think of the city. I was trying to think of the city that they play in. Yes, I remember. So that's the best.
How many more games we got?
Let's see. We got the Chiefs Eagles. That's going to be a public murder. The Chiefs are going to win by 90.
Yep. I mean, we don't really have to talk much about that. I think the Chiefs are going to be out for blood in this one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Eagles are just overmatched. I don't know if that has to do with the quarterback or it is the coach or Sirianni or anything like that. But I did like what Jalen Hurts said after the game in the Dallas game.
Why
not? When you drop a deuce, you don't look at it, you flush it, and you keep it going. I usually try to look and expect it because I just want to see if everything's okay with it. But I understand what he meant. Certain times, you take a doo-doo, you just go ahead and you flush it because you know everything was good and you don't want to see it anymore. So, I mean, I at least I understand that, portion of it. But, yeah, the Eagles are a mess, man. And I think that 49er fans should be more concerned than anything because they literally were struggling with this team. I was at the game in Philly, man. They were struggling with this team all the way down to the end, man. But the Eagles just are not a good football team. They're exactly who we thought they would be.
Yeah, I ranked Jalen Hurts 35 out of 35 in my preseason quarterback rankings for a reason. Played well against Atlanta. I gave him his props. Didn't look bad against San Francisco, and then the real Jalen Hurts stood up against Dallas. So not to say he can't get better, but right now he's not good. Washington football team against Atlanta, that'll be a competitive one. If Washington's defense actually decides to show up, they should win that game because I like Taylor Heineke. He's played well so far. I like Atlanta's just a dumpster fire. They're going to be a top 5 draft pick team. They're going to get a quarterback to
they might be in the running to get the number 1 pick and get Malik Willis.
Do you like Willis more than you like Howe?
I have to dig into Howell a little bit more, but I think that right now, on October 2nd, 9:57 p.m. Eastern time, I've got Willis a little bit ahead. But we got to watch.
I'm not going to pretend. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I dive into all 22 before December or Thanksgiving anyway. But just gauging. But yeah, regardless, Atlanta's going to be in position to get one of these guys. They're not good defensively. Like they took my favorite player in the draft, in Richie Grant, and I was really sad because I knew he was going to a horrible situation. So to me, Atlanta's just a dumpster fire. They have nobody offensively. Thank you for the comment.
Thank you, ready for whatever one.
Yes, it means a lot. We appreciate everybody who comments and watches. It means a lot. I think Washington should win that game. Another public.
If they're the team we think they are, they should.
Yeah. Another public stoning will be the Bills against the Texans. Bills are 17.5-point favorites in this. That ain't going to be pretty. Yeah, Bills. If Tyrod was there, it would be closer because Tyrod Taylor deserves a lot more.
Tyrod Taylor revenge game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Tyrod Taylor is going to start having a lot of revenge games. He's going to turn into a mini Ryan Fitzpatrick at this point. He's
Hey,
just
listen,
everywhere.
we could turn any game that you want into a revenge game.
I
That's just how it
suppose
is.
so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anybody is a former, like, it doesn't matter. We can pick someone always. I always
Exactly.
do that. That's my favorite narrative to run with is revenge games.
So yeah, the Bills should win this
Bills
game.
should win that by plenty.
And you know what? If my Aaron Rodgers dream doesn't come true, I am perfectly fine with Tyrod Taylor, Steelers quarterback 2022. Totally okay with that.
To transition into to what though? Like, what do you expect Tyrod Taylor to bring to your team that will so I guess you'll be in position with Tyrod Taylor to get a quarterback that's really high.
Exactly. So let's say that the Steelers are going to take a quarterback in the first round. That's a given at this point. Tyrod is a guy who's going to protect the ball. He's going to put you in position to win, and they're still going to have that phenomenal defense. They could still be they're not going to be a Super Bowl threat. They'll be a playoff team. They'll be a playoff threat at the bare minimum. They can be an 8 to 10 win team with Tyrod Taylor. So I would be okay with that. And not to get off track here, but guys like Minshew, Drew Lock, Tyrod Taylor. If my Aaron Rodgers dream doesn't come true, totally okay with any of those guys being a bridge.
Minshew over all those guys.
I love Gardner Minshew. I think.
Yeah, we know.
I think I sang a song.
Yes.
On this show, I'm gonna. Oh man, should I write another one?
Yes, yes. Especially when eventually Gardner Minshew takes
when
over
he
that
starts.
job. Yes.
Absolutely going to happen this year, and I cannot wait. I'm going to have to become a de facto Eagles fan because I love Gardner Minshew so much. So
I mean, you're in Pennsylvania. You're close enough.
Exactly. Have him come to the other side. Have him come to Sheets territory over Wawa. So that's all I need right now is
Wawa's elite. Also, for anybody who is not on the East Coast and doesn't know about Wawa. You're welcome. I know that I've been to the West Coast a bunch, and they're just like, "Oh, you don't have this over there, like Jack in the Box and that." No, but y'all don't have Wawa.
Put Zach Rowan's comment on the screen right now, the most recent one.
Yup. Whose hair would you take, Gardner or Jarrett? Ooh, Jarrett, your hair looks amazing right now, man.
It does, man. I tried. Yeah, who would you take?
No disrespect to you. That Gardner Minshew mullet, man, that's tough to pull off, bro.
Oh, look, bro. That's like a situation if a girl I'm seeing left me for Cristiano Ronaldo. I would leave me for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Look, but you got to vote. You got to vote right here.
There we go. Right here. Here's the thing, though. My hair has taken a drastic journey in 2021. It started off similar to this, except it was brown. It's now bleached. I permed it. I shaved it all off, and now we're here. So It's been I've gone through my phase of after a breakup, what girls do with their hair. I just decided to do my own thing with it. So regardless of hair, though, love Gardner Minshew. I would be totally okay if he went from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh next year. But yeah, the Eagles are going to lose. The Texans are going to lose. We haven't really touched on the 49ers Seahawks yet, and we're an hour, 12 minutes into this show.
All right.
How are you feeling?
All right. So I on the Sprint Right Option podcast, I passed on a prediction for the game because I think that when it comes to Seattle, when it comes to the 49ers, when it comes to almost any divisional game, you have to kind of toss all the stats out from previous weeks. Those games don't matter. Russell Wilson is the boogeyman, and he's the one in the closet for 49ers fans. He's the guy under the bed.
Talking about Jesus in the closet.
Right. I don't care. I don't care how bad they've been playing. Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. They always find a way to make the game close. There's only 3 ways this game can go. And this is how usually the Seattle 49ers, as of late, as long as Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll have been there, goes. Seattle either blows the 49ers out, wins in the last second, or the 49ers win in the last second. The 49ers don't blow them out. The 49ers never win in a handily game. And that's all because of Russell Wilson. Unfortunately, 49er fans, I know you don't want to hear this. I don't have the 49ers winning this game. I don't. Because if you think that Devontae Adams posed problems to our secondary last week, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are on the way.
Yeah, and, times 2 with that.
Look, I would love to be wrong. I'd love to sit here and eat crow. This would be the sweetest crow that I would have ever eaten. But my goodness, man, it's Russell Wilson. And again, he's never lost 3 straight. Jimmy Garoppolo's never lost 2 straight. I don't think that Russell Wilson loses 3 straight because if Seattle loses this game, they're in deep, deep shit, man. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse, whatever. But yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And I think that this game means more to them than the 49ers. If the 49ers would have won on Sunday Night Football, this game would not have meant as much to the 49ers, right? But now there is a distinct possibility that the 49ers will end this game 2-2 with a chance to go 2-3 with a team that even at their best in 2019 struggled with Arizona. So I've got Seattle. I'm sorry, 49ers fans. I hope I'm wrong. Click this and then dunk on me after it doesn't come true, and I'll take it. But, yeah, man, I don't see it happening. But here's the thing. I took a look at Seahawks Twitter. The only fan base that's more down on their team than the 49ers is the Seahawks at this point. These guys don't see any chance that they'll win this game, but that's exactly why I'm afraid. This seems like the typical Seattle game where you're just like, man, worst defense in the league as in terms of yards given up per game. 49ers should be able to run all over them, do whatever they want. It's Russell Wilson, man. I have a tough time betting against him and Pete Carroll. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I do think Seattle wins this game. I didn't even know that. I thought this game was a 1:00 game. It's actually in the late window, Steelers-Packers. Look at me go. So this is a game, and I know that I touched on Pittsburgh a little bit earlier. I haven't really touched on this game yet. This is a game that Green Bay should win, but it wouldn't surprise me if Pittsburgh somehow went into Lambeau and just gutted out a win, especially getting Watt back, getting Highsmith back.
If you win this
Johnson.
game, against,
I mean, I'm not gonna win the game. They'll win the game, but
all right. So I like what you did there because that's your thing. But no, I'm saying if the Steelers win this game, this is a springboard victory. Like it's one of those games where you can literally take that and just go up now. Now your trajectory changes. You have different things that you can look forward to. So this is more important to them. But again, all right. So look, I'm with you. I got the Packers in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's no disrespect to you guys. It's just based on what I've seen. Aaron Rodgers is playing lights out. I don't know who you have that is going to be able to contain Devontae Adams because it doesn't matter. He doesn't stick to one side. They put him in the slot. They put him everywhere. You don't have a guy that can chase him around. And honestly, 31 other teams don't have a guy.
Cam Sutton season.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little something that's going on right now with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers looks a little bit more locked in, I think. And this is more probably to just say that he's out the door the next year because he is, obviously, clearly. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough, man.
You want to know what I think is going to happen? Not necessarily what I think. What I hope happens is that it's close. Whether Pittsburgh wins or not, I just hope it's close. But they need to win. This is why they needed to win at least one of these home games because they're staring now Green Bay, next week Seattle, following week Denver. They're staring like 1-5 in the face, and that's horrifying. Last time they lost back-to-back home games, 2003, that's the last season that they finished with a sub-500 record. So that's why they needed to win one of these because their next 3 games are brutal. But what I hope happens is that, it's a tightly contested game. Pittsburgh gets to Aaron Rodgers late. He throws up a ball that he wouldn't usually throw up. Minka Fitzpatrick intercepts it. They drive down the field, kick a game-winning field goal in a 19-16 game that's just ugly, but they get a win. Big Ben and Aaron Rodgers meet at half field, and they shake hands, and Ben just leans in, hey, come here and replace me next year. This is a great team. And then Aaron looks at that and says, you know what? This defense, these guys, they can just go offensive line heavy in the draft, sign a guy or two, and we got a squad. So that's what I'm hoping happens is that, Ben gives a good word to Aaron after the game, just says, hey, be my successor. And the tampering is set in place. And
that's best case scenario.
Absolutely best case scenario. But in terms of the game, that gutting out a low scoring game is probably the best case scenario for Pittsburgh. They're not going to be able to go toe to toe offensively with Green Bay. Their defense is going to have to keep them in this, as they will throughout the season.
Yeah, you're really gonna have to make it, tough on them. And I think that you have the sort of defense that can do that, especially if TJ Watt shows up, because one thing that I thought the 49ers were going to be able to exploit was how bad the Packers offensive line was, especially considering they were on their third string tackle. But the Packers, give them all the credit. When I got a chance to look at the all-22, they chip Nick Bosa anytime. He doesn't see that chip block coming from anywhere. He just continues to get laid out. They're continuing to do that. And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's able to get that ball out quick enough where he doesn't have to be in that position. So if the Steelers want to have a chance at this, they've got to get in his face. They've got to have a chance at it. But I mean, I got the Packers in this one, man. If you win this game, though, it's a big springboard victory, though.
That's ginormous because they got Seattle next week and then they've got Denver. So both of them are at home, though, which is nice. But it's not going to be easy, and I'm nervous. But we touched on both the remaining games. We feel Tampa Bay is going to win. I think the Chargers are going to win. Do you think? Who do you?
I think the Raiders are going to win.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there because I thought that they traded away all the good offensive linemen, but Derek Carr is actually pushing the ball downfield in a way that he hasn't done in the last few years, and he's playing exceptionally well. I understand the Chargers, are playing well and that they don't give it up on the ground, but that's fine. Derek Carr has been showing that he's been, he's processing the field very well. He's playing very well. This is as close to Derek Carr that one year that everybody thought he was an MVP candidate. This
the 2015 year.
Yeah, this is it right here. So, I you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go against you, Spider Y2 Banana. Let's get it. I got the Raiders in this one, and it's gonna be fun. So,
I tell you what, man.
I'll tell you what, man. I want better execution.
Spider 2 Y Banana.
Hey, that's a pretty good one, man. You got to work on that. Yeah, I mean, the only impression that you can't ever top, you'll never be able to top, is your Beavis and Butthead impression. I'm
gonna start doing one of those a week.
You should.
Because people seem to really enjoy them.
I played it for someone in the background, and they were like, "Oh, Mike Judge is doing football stuff now," and I was like, "That's not Mike Judge, my friend. That is Jarrett Bailey." So.
Yeah, I've wanted to do more impression stuff, and I think it was just a matter of getting comfortable with it and just being okay with being goofy. And then I was like, okay, people like this. This will be fun. But here's the thing: it would not surprise me. I'll give you a little bit of a sample. If let's say Sunday, Green Bay sitting there.
This is the best way to end the show. Go for it, Jared.
Yeah, Beavis has got Green Bay money line. Butthead went with the ballsy pick and went Steelers plus 6.5. Beavis is riding high off last week where he bet the Packers to cover.
I'm laughing because I know it's coming. Go.
And they win with the game-winning field goal. And Butthead's just like, damn it, Beavis. I need Pittsburgh to score. And then Beavis is just chilling like, oh, damn it. I need him to come in clutch. That's the one thing when you do that impression, you just got to get that little whatever the hell that is, and then Butthead is just that's all it is. It's really funny. So,
dude, I gotta get out of here. It's already hour 10.
Yeah, we got an hour 10 in, hour 20 in actually.
Hour 20.
But regardless, hey, it's good to see you again, mate. I'm glad we're doing this again.
I'm so happy that we're able to do this. And yeah, we're gonna be doing this a lot more. And I hope you guys tune in and look. Subscribe to the channel here. Subscribe to Two Skinny Dudes. Subscribe to Jarrett's YouTube channel because he has a bunch of content on there as well too. So we'll put that in the link here for you guys to do that as well. We appreciate you guys jumping back in with us, and I know that we've been away for a little while, but that's gonna go away now because I'm focused. I'm not gonna be traveling as much, so I'm gonna be here, and we're gonna make sure we get this done at least once a week. Maybe we'll plan on a Saturday show this late, just right before the games, and try to get, because Saturday's the best time. You have all the information, right?
Exactly. So yeah, follow me on Twitter as well at JBaileyNFL. I'm gonna try to start doing more YouTube stuff because I did that Garoppolo video. I just started this YouTube thing. I'm not good at it. We'll figure it out on the way together. So follow me on Twitter at JBaileyNFL. I think I'm a pretty good a good follow.
He's verified. Follow him instead of me.
Yeah, I guess I do have that blue check mark, which is I put it in my Tinder bio. It hasn't paid off as much as I would have liked it to yet, but we'll see.
No, let's get out. Let's get out of here.
Hey, before we go, put up the that second to last comment from Ready for Whatever. I'll say it for him, and then one above it. I need TV for my bunghole. That one, yes, yeah, it's great. I am the great cornhole. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, Two Skinny Dudes.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you all.
Yep.
Later.